to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ebro's Lawrence Rosenberg, Jack Harlow, finally on the program. We met this guy, or at least I did, during the pandemic. Now, I see him in L.A. He's like, yo, I met you with Rosenberg years ago, bro. You don't even remember, and then just beelines off like suns me.
I did. No, never that.
But that is what happened.
No, not at all. He's projecting. I think. I did Rosenberg by myself, late 2019. We were just talking.
And you were here, and you probably did see each other.
Yeah, and I was on the way out. They were like, "Yo, you want to meet Ebro?" I was like,
Please. It's love. It's love.
"Yeah, it's love."
I'm proud of you, man.
And so we got a brief dap in, but now we're here.
And by the way, we didn't even see you after the first album. Well, no, we did. We had you briefly on when the first album dropped, but right before it dropped. That first album was great, bro.
Thank you.
You really delivered.
I remember you sent me a really nice message about that.
Well, I was taken aback by it. Honestly, I guess I didn't know what to expect because I knew I could sense you were that you were now kind of exploding in a different way. And it's always an unsure thing of how does an artist sort of handle it once they're getting the eyeballs. And you delivered it, man.
Thank you. This one's killing that one.
That's what Ebro says.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to you by This Moment. Don't remember that. Reintroduced to you again by Drama, who was like, yo, I'm working with this dude and sent me one of your albums. This is 2017? When did you start working with Drama?
Late 2017. It's possible.
Yeah, 2017.
How did you and Drama meet?
I remember I was in the basement of my house with one of my homeboys in Louisville, and I looked on Instagram. I probably had 4,000 followers. This was 2016, and he had followed me on IG. And I remember looking over at my homeboy, and I was like, this is when like Uzi was red hot. So, obviously Drama was already a legend, but like at that very moment, it was like Drama finds hot artists. So I looked over at my homeboy and I was like, bro, what if I signed to Drama? I just vividly remember that. Then when I started making my way down to Atlanta to do open mics and get around, I think Drama just called wind of me. A guy named Randy introduced me to him. KY Engineering introduced me to him. And then he's like, yo, I want to sign you. So I met him at Mean Street, and he's seen a lot of it.
Are you surprised that at that time he was able to see that much in you? Like, had you done enough? When you look back at the stuff he was privy to, are you surprised, or were you already pretty nice with it?
I think at the time I wasn't surprised. I mean, you always look back, and it's like when you look at pictures of yourself in middle school, like you're like, ugh, that could have been so much better. But I always had something raw. I mean, when I was 12 years old, I had something. There's something there. So, I just salute him and everyone that's been supporting me for the longest for seeing the vision, because I think they just saw something early that was just raw.
So the last project, love the album. I learned about EST Gee through you.
That's right.
Who I'm into.
Yeah.
Who he says, and you guys are still tight compadres from the Lou, from Louisville. Do you guys call it the Lou by any chance?
We don't, but that's not bad.
Okay.
I think St. Louis is the Lou.
That's right, St. Louis.
We say the Ville.
The Ville.
Ville.
Right,
Okay,
right,
the Ville. Is there an EST Gee Jack Harlow moment at some point for the city? Does that ever, do you guys, because obviously he's on Route 66, which I want to play for the audience if they never heard of him before, but I want to, continue to put that on for him because I think he's a great artist, but
he's incredible, right? I mean, just like one of the best writers in the game right now, one of the best rappers alive to me. He's amazing. And I've thought that since before the world saw any of them, and it's just so exciting to me. I always talk about how I couldn't believe that Bryson Tiller was from Louisville when he first came out, because I was like, how is someone that is one of my favorite artists from the city I'm from? But now that it's happened with G too, another person is one of my favorite artists from the same city. I mean, there's something that we're doing that is just cohesive. Clearly we have, people say Louisville doesn't have a sound, but there's some sort of thing that is cohesive with our tastes or just maybe our flows or something. There's something. Anyway, me and G definitely have more moments in store because he's too talented, man, and we just need to keep putting on.
How do you keep that balance for you, right? You're on the precipice of superstardom.
Yeah.
This might be our first and last face-to-face interview because, when rappers get big, they get tired of doing interviews.
You see how on time he was the day after the Met Gala, though? This is a good indicator.
Impressive.
But what ends up happening is everybody gets with an artist and they only want to talk about gossip. They don't want to talk about the music. They don't want to talk about what we like talking about a little bit of everything. So we may not see you again. But I say all of that to say that you're on the precipice of being out of here.
Right.
You, though, are at your heart one of the realest hip-hop fans. Like, you know that you want to make sure that you deliver on being dope in hip-hop. How you keep that balance going forward, like, in your mind?
I mean, that's a great question. I'd like to think that they could just coexist.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you can be dope on a mass level. And I think, you have all these things that you worry about. You want to be felt the right way. You want to be perceived the right way, but one thing I've found just over the last few years is people feel you. Like, they just know when it's genuine. So I think that's what's been working for me is I'm able to just honor the totality of who I am. I think that's why I have so many sides to not only my music, but my personality. And, like, I just let that fly because I know people believe me. Like, I speak with conviction. I rap with conviction. Like, it just comes across. So we're going to let it go.
Does it ever cross your mind that you are the first of your kind in a certain way? And by that, I mean, there have been a lot of white rappers. At this point, it's not that novel, to be a white rapper, whatever. Right. But in terms of being this commercially popular, where, like, you make club records, like you have one of the biggest club records of the last 5 years. What's poppin', right?
Right.
That is kind of rarefied air. Like, that's not generally where even the biggest white rappers who we love, Mac, Marshall, Eminem he doesn't make club records, right? He's a lyrical miracle and is a huge star as a result of it. But, like, no one else has actually been in this space of being a white boy who actually makes really good commercial hip hop records. Have you ever looked at it like that this has not been done before?
I mean, I'd say I'm aware of it. I feel like you might not be able to put Eminem in the club box, but
he's a star, obviously.
Well, but he was making mainstream hip hop that was being consumed by the masses.
True.
So, but I mean, I feel your point. I was talking about this with the New York Times the other day. It was
Caramatica?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. John was pointing out to me. He was like, "Yo, similar to what you're saying." He's like, "You're making centrist hip hop. You're not making something over here on a niche." And it's I just want to play ball. Like, I really want to play. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it. And I think that's the other thing that's contributing to people having belief in what's going on is I'm showing up to the court to play.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to play for real. And, that's what comes.
What does that mean? What does that entail for you, wanting to play?
I mean, I don't want to go play on the niche court. I don't want to go play on the baby court.
You want to be in the combo.
Yeah, I want to play. I really want to play. Like, if we're going to play basketball, I want to play. So that's the analogy I always
Whatever
draw.
the competitive competition is, I want to be at the top of the game.
Yeah, I want to play for real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, if Kendrick were to have his Control verse again right now, you'd want him to call you out in that record too.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But he also wants to have one of those joints that goes up at the bar mitzvah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He still wants the joint that goes off at the wedding. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want the stadium joint. You know what I'm saying? My team's about to win the game. The Jack Harlow stadium joint rings off.
Yeah, I mean, I just the way I see it is, I got a lyric on my new album. I talk about the lines like, the squares hate the prom king. They can't wait to see if I say the wrong thing. Look at the disdain that these hit songs bring. I mean, I could have kept it niche, but I'd rather see my brothers get rich. Like, where I'm from, we want to live a full life. Like, there's just a lot of people that are a part of my movement from Kentucky. We never been in this space. Like, we want to. I'd rather not be in the corner, garnering a bunch of dudes' respect. I'd rather play ball. You know what I'm saying? And put all of us in position and live the fullest life we can live. So,
and it's pretty interesting. I don't even think I realized it the first time I had you that Nemo Akita was your team.
Yeah.
Is he co-management? What's Nemo's title with you?
He's like my right-hand man.
He's just your right-hand man.
Yeah, he just, looks after everything.
So Nemo was the first artist I ever knew from Louisville, and he was on my mixtape in 2008 or 9, whatever, and he was grinding it.
He's from Lexington.
He's from Lexington. Sorry, Kentucky. So, and Nemo's a dope artist in his own right, right?
Super.
And like most people, took a shot at it. It didn't go in that way. So, like, he's another person who's part of he gets to live through this whole thing too. 100%. I mean, you really are putting on for not just you.
Yeah, and he's contributing in a major way. So, we just all come together and It's a lot of collective energy, man.
Big violation, me just throwing Lexington and Louisville together, by the way. That's
You're gonna get cooked
big
for that?
Kentucky
They'll
violation.
get over it.
Right
They'll get over
It'll
it.
be all right.
Outside of music, we did talk about you being part of the reboot of White Man Can't Jump.
That's right.
There was also talk that you didn't even have to audition for the role.
Oh, yeah?
Is that just
I like
a
the sound of
rumor?
that. What's wrong with that?
They're saying they just gave it to you, but tell us how that went down.
I had gotten some advice to act. I mean, people have been seeing it in me, and I kind of believed I could do it, but I had gotten some advice that was really compelling. I should act, and about a month later, it just came across my desk, and I was like, let's do it. So it feels like a cool next step, you know? Hip-hop is first to me, and, you know, I want to do this music, but if we can make that work, let's do it too.
Can you jump?
I can.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
How good a baller are you?
I'm useful. I'm getting better every day, though.
You're still playing hard.
Yeah.
You're working at it.
Yeah, I'm getting better every day. Yeah.
So you weren't like a kid in high school that had aspirations of hoop.
I would say I had that up until high school, and then it was like
Me too.
then it became music. But I was an athletic kid. Like my hand-eye coordination is perfect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I play sports, but up until this point, it's always been effort guy. Like Tyler Hansbrough.
Great defense.
Yeah,
Great
like,
defense.
defense, rebounding.
The
Like
typical white guy on TV. Great
Nah.
effort.
Well,
Great
well, no,
effort.
I'd say the typical is corner three.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
was
I'm
about to
saying?
say, what's that corner three?
That wasn't me. But now I'm having to expand
developing the three.
because they don't want the lead role to be a guy that rebounds.
Got it. So that jumper got to look nice.
That's right. And it
Are
will.
you fundamentally sound, elbow, jumper guy?
Sound. Now.
Yo,
Getting
it's
ready.
taking work. Have you or will you talk to Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes?
I mean, if I'm allowed to, yeah.
Woody, hit him up, man.
'Cause
Woody
Woody-
likes to smoke.
Woody
too.
did a
You
good
smoke?
job.
You smoke?
I don't smoke, but I still want to meet him.
But you have a beverage while he smokes or something.
Yeah, I'll drink a tea.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, you don't drink or smoke? Don't drink at all?
No wonder he made it on time.
Wait, have you never drank?
I have drank,
But
I
you
gave
don't
it up
drink.
a year and a half ago. I haven't had a sip. I didn't have a problem or anything. I just like wanted to lock in and become the biggest artist. So I just have.
So hold on. This is fascinating. So in this time when you're exploding, right? And we see the
This guy's
reaction.
gonna make it.
Yo, we see the reaction, how girls treat you, etc. This is all a known thing. I'm a complex. I mean, listen, it's either Euphoria or fucking Jack Harlow on Complex every 10 minutes, right? People are on you. How do you navigate through conversations with all the drunk people trying to get a piece of your time when you're stone sober all the time, bro? I was sober till I was 25. Those conversations, and no one wanted to talk to me. And the conversations were still hard.
Yeah.
How do you get through that?
I mean, it's harder sometimes than other times. You know, there's times where I'm like, ugh, I wish I was drinking. And then
Right. Or I wish you were sober. Or it's like a beautiful woman and you're like, I wish you were sober because this conversation is not even fun.
That's a great example of a time that you don't want it to be going on. I get through it. I think it's helpful. It's forced me to. My social skills are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It requires work.
Did
Yeah.
drinking and you never smoked? That was never your
I
thing?
have, but it's not my
your
thing.
Did either of those make you antisocial in a way, like where you didn't want to be around?
I think getting high would make me self-conscious.
Got it.
It would make me almost self-loathing in some moments.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you in my head?
No, we just.
Are you guys having a bromance?
No,
What's
well,
going
my
on here?
God.
Tell me
I
what's going
try
on.
to smoke because I want to be like, you know.
It's because we're analytical guys. You know?
I hit the joint, and then a few minutes later, I question everything I've been saying or doing for months. I'm like, you're
see,
such a disgrace. What are you doing?
My experience has been it's like I'm terrible and everyone knows.
Maybe it's imposter syndrome. I don't know what
No,
it is.
it activates your imposter syndrome.
It activates it. You
Why?
start to
Because you
see
feel
each
like
other.
people are just critiquing you for being
You're critiquing you, and you just think
critiquing you.
you're terrible.
I get a little bit of that. I get paranoia. I get a little
But
bit
you
of
know
the-
your weed well enough to know which ones you should.
Well, yeah,
stay
I got
away
it down
from.
to a science. Like if I smoke before I have this drink, or if I smoke a little bit of this and drink a little of this, I'm in the right space. Or if I've already smoked, then I don't need to be doing this. Like I'm.
You know your game.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer, so because he was a weed head every day when he was a teenager.
I was high every day from 1990 to 2000.
Yeah, so you're conditioned.
I missed that, so I didn't start till I was 25. Had a fun run for a few years.
Oh yeah,
and
your
then
brain was already developed.
My brain was.
So you're set into the reality you're in. You know what I'm saying? You and me, we. I think. Do you have a control problem?
I don't know.
Do you like?
How do you view it? How do you view a control problem?
I like to think I'm working to grow out of it. I think I have a control issue. Just in general, I think I can chokehold life into what I want. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that is control. It takes it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a certain level
discomfort.
There's a certain level of almost religion one needs to be able to let go of control, you know? And for me, it didn't come until my divorce. When someone wants to end a relationship with you and you're like, I would prefer this relationship not end, and they're like, well, it's ending. You're like, oh, I can't control this. I am relinquishing control. How do I find the things? And that's why that line of like, control the things you can control.
That's one of the realest shits I've ever seen you say.
Oh, thank you.
And you watch him a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
It's interesting, too, to hear you guys talk because depending on how you come up in life, you take so many L's early where, you take so many L's early that you're ready. Like, I live in a different space.
You took early L's.
I took so many L's, like dad in jail, parents breaking up, losing family members,
No, my privilege
all
didn't.
of it.
My privilege held me away from L's
Police
for a long
raids
time.
in the house. You know what I mean? I grew up in that kind of shit where it's kind of like, yo, you better be on point or otherwise, shit could be taken from you. You don't have control, so you better figure out what you can do and focus on that lane and be successful.
Well said.
Survivor mode all your life.
Yeah.
That's really
The
what
whole
it is,
time.
Same.
No, white privilege protected me for a very long time. And then you become an adult and things happen, and there's a few. I mean, the divorce is bad, but deaths of people that you love.
Right,
and you're like, oh, I just can't control shit. All I can do is control my own life and my own decisions.
Y'all
Shit
broke it
got
down
real in
perfect.
here.
Nah, but y'all was saying.
But
y'all
no,
right.
you're figuring out early. How old are you?
24.
The fact that you're 24 and going through this time and not touching drugs or alcohol, man, that's
He's gonna make it. This guy's gonna be
that's
a big
so
deal.
promising. That's really great
Thank
to
you.
hear.
Thank
Now,
you.
with all of this planning, this is a question I have. It's a great question for me and Rosemary to talk to you about. Laura, I don't know if you can relate, but it's a serious business. Do you have a long-term hair plan?
Oh,
God.
Because I'm going to tell you why. I had gorgeous long locks in the 90s. My hair was always there.
Yeah.
But I knew there was a potential that I was going to start balding.
Yeah.
And at that moment, what are you going to do? Am I going to bail before it becomes a thing?
Well,
or
what's
are
your
you going to
history?
hang in there?
Is that going to happen? Are you going to be?
24.
I think I have a chance. I think I have a chance.
Can I
I'll
take
have
a
to be. No.
Okay.
Definitely not. Can't take a look.
Wait, what about your pops?
I-
No head of hair?
No, my dad is bald.
Uh-oh.
I have a chance. This is something that goes through my mind. For
You got
sure.
a plan for this.
No, for sure. I would like to think though, I'm going the way y'all went.
Go out early, baby.
Like a G. Like a G. If it comes to that, I'm going out like a G.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
the only thing to do.
But I'm just saying that now. Who knows what I'll decide?
right.
Maybe I'll be in a space where I'm like, hairpiece me.
Have you?
Spray that shit in there. Spray that shit in
But
there.
for now, I'm just going.
Have you always been this sort of? Has it always been sort of the like little bushy Jufro of sorts, minus the Judaism?
Yeah. In different ways. It's just the length has changed. But for the most part, it's just
some
been,
version of
it's
this.
Been, it's my mom's hair. It's how my mom's hair looks.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, do you use a product? I'm sure there's some people. So what do you
Air
do
dry.
in the morning?
Air dry.
So you use blow dry. You blow dry.
Not even that usually.
You brought a towel over it and just leave it.
I don't even do that. That frizzes it.
You literally just let it go.
Yeah, you
I let it
air- that's
breathe.
What about when it's
air
cold
dry is.
outside and you have to leave the house?
I'm good about timing.
So there is some planning that takes place.
There's some thought. Yeah,
there's
there's
some
thought to
thought.
everything we do.
Now, what about grades? What are you gonna do with grades?
already got them. I know you can't see them, but
No.
they're there. Yeah.
Oh, I see him on
Yeah.
the side right there.
Yeah, you could see him. I'm saying he can't come over and check. I thought he was gonna say,
Oh,
let me
no,
see.
no.
I was looking for the spot, how this is.
Oh, check me out. Yeah, I'm straight.
Oh, he's good.
Oh, bro, he might not be there.
But what about the front though? What if he runs?
Oh,
What
go
if
like
he runs
this.
to the
You pull
back?
No. Y'all ain't getting me. Girls
Stop
been waiting for me to
violating.
slick back my hair for a long time. They
So
gonna
they
have
can see.
we
Because they
it's
wanna
gonna be
see
a
what's
moment.
under there.
Well,
Well, they wanted to slick back, but we'll see.
Yo,
can't.
Laura, my friend Sam Roberts, you know Sam.
Yeah.
Sam always had curly hair, and it was his gimmick for so long. And I pulled him aside like 6 years ago, and I'm like, Sammy, I see the alleys here. You got to prepare for this. This could go wrong.
Yo, this is the real man
And it went
talk.
wrong.
This is
And
real
then he
man
shaved
talk.
his head, and now he looks great, and he thanks me. He posted a picture the other day from 2 years ago. You can't let that period
When you
happen.
say prepare, you really just mean mentally.
Mental.
And to be able to make the move.
Well, and you got to have a gradual strategy because you're a public figure. Nobody really gave a shit about what was going on with me. Like, I shaved my head off. Who gives a fuck?
Well, it fits your gritty attitude. Man.
There you go. But for you, sir,
Yeah.
your hair is a thing.
Yeah.
So as a guy who is seeing a young artist, a promising young artist who gives a shit about this hip hop thing that has provided us all so much, I am saying, sir, have a hair plan.
Just have a plan. It's a good idea.
A gradual
said.
plan. I'm gonna shorten it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you take a movie role that causes you to shave it, and then it just never comes back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't say
There you
G.I.
go.
Jane, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
There
See,
you go.
you see, bro.
Sorry.
You see,
Why did you say it? Oh my God.
Yo, we gotta play this hit, First Class, from Mr. Jack Harlow. Also, I want to talk about this album. What's the title of the album?
Come Home, the Kids Miss You.
What inspired that?
I was seeing that comment under everything I was posting, and then I realized I was spending a lot of time away from Louisville while I was working on the album. It just felt fitting, you know what I'm saying?
So what about this album is you at home? What?
Yeah, I mean, almost every song in some way or another just kind of addresses the position I'm in and what that's like in context to where I'm from, what it's like to go home with these experiences and just with the people I grew up with. There's just a lot of perspective on the album that has to do what it's like to be from a place like I'm from and be experiencing things at the level I'm at, because I think that's what makes it interesting is, you know, you're in LA for a month or you're in London for a couple weeks and then you go back to Louisville and reflect on all that. Like that's kind of where a lot of my thoughts were on this album, is what that's like.
You told a story on the first album about a girl back home, about like you being gone and coming back and reconnecting with a girl back home. I'm not making that up, right?
Correct, yeah.
Was that based on real life situations?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I just moved back to Kentucky, so it's like this is all kind of a...
Moved back into your mom's house, got a nice little, they say the fix
Not
up the
quite.
bedroom?
Not quite. Yeah.
Yo, I can't imagine how you're doing in Louisville, bro.
It's a vibe, man.
You're probably doing, I'm guessing the real estate in Louisville would it be such that you could be in a really great situation. I mean, you could be in a great situation here, but take that situation in
Trust me,
Louisville.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's fantastic, bro.
Are you? Is Louisville a place where you want to make sure the things that you didn't have, like you and your friends didn't have, as far as
Precisely.
being young music lovers and places to create and places to hone your skills? Is that part of your long-term
Precisely.
plan?
Yeah, it's just there's so many. I mean, every kid in America wants to do this, honestly.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a ton of kids in Louisville that want this. Ones that are, you know, like you said, there was resources we were missing, but there's kids with even fewer resources that me and my friends had. So just being able to give back in that way, I think is part of my responsibility.
And then people can see you visibly there, you know.
Yeah, and it's where I want to be. You know, there's just like only so many places on earth to live.
LA's not for you?
Nah.
You spend time there, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
recorded a lot of the album there, but I liked it in and out. I don't like being on Pacific time.
LA or New York for times that you're not in Louisville? What's your preference?
LA.
You do prefer LA?
Yeah, I'd prefer it to here because it's kind of chilly here. But
What about Miami?
I was thinking Miami for a second, but I don't know. I just kind of grew out of it, and I was just like, why don't I just go to Kentucky?
See, he's mature, grew out of Miami already. Because eventually everyone.
Well, you
grows
know
out
what
of
that
Miami.
means. What that really says is, as a young man, if we analyze Mr. Jack Harlow, a young man, probably 15, 16, this experience of being popping isn't new to him.
Right.
He's popping on another level, but he's been having access.
Were you popping at 14? Honestly, like as a 14-year-old?
Yeah, no, he nailed it somehow.
Well, I can tell. It's like, okay, yeah, there's girls. I've had like, I mean, I love women, but there's girls. I've been meeting girls. I've known girls. I've had hot girls. I've had this girl.
I'm enjoying where we're at. Like, I'm enjoying everything that comes with it. The leverage, you know, just the attention. It's all fun. But like you said, I was a popular kid in middle school and high school. You know, the cutest girl in my class. I was able to talk to her. So now we're in this spot, and I'm just focused. There's so much I want to achieve, and so many people that I want to put in position where I'm from. Like, we're just so hungry right now because what we have is so sought after and fragile. You know what I'm saying? So many people lose the spot because they don't treasure it. And like, I'm prizing this because I know it's like, it feels fragile to me.
No, it's not guaranteed, that's for sure.
So I'm just like, we just head down work.
Does it ever, do you ever geek out though a little bit? Because I know you love sports. So does it ever geek you out though when you're at a game and like all the players are aware that you're there and people want to come and say hello?
Yeah, that feels great. I love all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an attention whore. I love all this shit. But I also am a workaholic.
How much are you checking social media comments, at replies, etc.? Are you in that still or not?
I've had to step away from that because it's like, no matter how much love there is, there's plenty of the other thing. And it's like,
It hits harder than the love does for
yeah,
whatever
it's more
reason.
noticeable.
Yeah.
It's more noticeable, and like, it's just not meant to be digesting it. People
know.
shouldn't be able to type something and you see it.
I
Yeah.
know. Everyone has a voice.
But I tap in sometimes and I'm like, ugh, why'd I tap in?
So I want to assure the audience too. I've had the privilege of hearing parts of this new album.
Yeah.
I didn't know obviously I knew you could rap. I knew you took rap serious. I knew you knew how to make records. What I was surprised at when I listened to it was the musicality.
Thank you.
That you allowed to breathe in the music. A lot of times when we hear artists putting out albums today, the beat comes on with whoever's the producer, little sound effect. They literally just go. Like, almost take out the breaths. They just rhyming. And the song ends. There's no appreciation of the musicality, of the flow, of the letting the thing breathe a little bit. And you did that on many songs on this album where you don't feel rushed. Yeah. You don't feel like you're trying to cram a bunch of things into a hot beat because you feel like you have to prove how many words you could fit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That might have just been a stylistic thing. It may be subconscious or it might have been conscious. Which one was it?
Well, I've been lucky enough to make the type of songs that you're talking about where you cram. And one thing I've just wanted to grow out of is stop making records that are for people to marvel at me for and more for us to enjoy together. And that's something I think I learned from my shows. You know, like when I was coming up, I just had that chip on my shoulder and, you know, I knew that people were skeptical of me. So I think I was making rap records that were like, I can really rap, let me prove it to you. And I wasn't even writing lines that people wanted to say with me. It was more just marvel at me, you know, let me put on a show. And now I've just gotten to a space, and my engineer really influences. I have a Puerto Rican engineer, and he always brings up his influence from reggaeton. And he talks about how so many of those reggaeton artists, the show experiences, it's an exchange. It's not about, look at me, I'm such a star. It's about, aren't we all loving this? So I think that has just like, those are just some words of his that have stuck with me. But I appreciate you saying that. We put a lot of care into this album. Angel Lopez and Roger Shahid are the executive producers, but I produced with them on almost all these records, just asking for exactly what I wanted, choosing chords, choosing drum sounds. Like, I've never put so much of myself into something. You know what I'm saying? Like, these beats I'm rapping on are like the beats I've wanted to rap on my whole life. So we have a formula and it's really special.
Jack Harlow, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to ask one last thing. You're talking about how like not having people marvel at you but enjoy the songs. Funny because this person loves people marveling at him, but he's really good at making everyone enjoy the song, is Kanye. Yeah. Like, he was the master of, he does a song, it's not about the barsiest of bars, but you're going to remember all the parts and you're going to have fun as he performs the songs.
Balance. Because it's not one or the other, but a lot of times, if it's marveling without the other thing, let's enjoy it together, that's when it's too much. But if you're making something that's, hey, that's all of us, people gonna marvel at it.
What was the? I saw Ye brought you out at the last stadium.
Yeah, the Donda 2.
The Donda 2 listening thing. What was that experience like? Because it looked on TV, it looked like a wild event. You're like, from a viewer standpoint, it makes almost no sense. You're just like seeing darkness, then a person appears. What was it like experiencing it for you?
Euphoric. I mean, that's one of my heroes. That's somebody that just left such a blueprint for me. So it all happened really fast too. I dropped Nail Tech and he made a post co-signing it, and then a little while after he calls my phone and
whoa, let's stop there. So your phone just rings and says no caller ID, or does someone warn you and say Kanye's gonna call you?
I think somebody let me know he was gonna call. I can't remember what my phone said, but I answered and it was like, it's Ye. And I was thrilled. I mean, that's the gift of what we do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure y'all get to experience it too, like just on y'all's own way. Like, just to be able to care about this and love this as a kid and then get validated by getting to meet and get props from the people that taught you how to do it is just like, that's better than any money.
It blew your hair back almost. Like, you almost slicked your hair back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yo.
It fucked me up, bro. It fucked me up, for real. Yeah.
Now, we talked about basketball. You said you're getting better. We saw you hanging out with Drake, who loves basketball very much. Did you guys play one-on-one?
We played some threes.
How's Drake's game?
He's good.
He's better than you?
Yeah.
Drake's better than Jack
He's more
Harlow.
skilled. I didn't lose while we played, but he's more skilled.
But you have height on him, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Huh. What's his game like when he plays you? He steps back and shoots on you, or?
Yeah, he's showy.
Oh, he likes to step back and...
He likes to flex, as he should. But, you know, I told you what type of player I am. I want to win. So I don't.
So you're
care.
gritty.
I don't care if I score a point.
You're
as
taking
long as
charges.
we win. You know what I'm saying? I just want to. I'll get all the rebounds. I'll do whatever it takes to win, and I usually win. But yeah, he's dope. He's a good player.
Did this record that leaked with both of y'all on it? That's on the album.
Yeah.
I was doing some research. I found out your vocals was just like that wasn't the verse that we're gonna hear on the album, the one that leaked. Did something change?
It wasn't done. It wasn't.
How'd
done.
that feel? Like when the record leaked?
It hurt my feelings. Yeah, I'm really tight about leaks. I don't bounce my music, so I haven't had leaks in a long time.
You don't even bounce the music.
I don't ride to my music while I'm working on an album. Like it stays in the only time we get to experience is in the studio.
So what he means by that, by the way, for viewers, is that when they're recording in studio, at the end of the session, he doesn't bounce it to an MP3 that you could listen to.
Demos, because then you have demoitis too. You ride to it and you can't change it because you get addicted to a version.
This guy's putting y'all on, man.
So you just leave it in Pro Tools or whatever.
I don't want no leaks. So I mean,
so it was annoying when it leaked.
That was heartbreaking, especially because that's an idol of mine.
It's a big moment.
I wanted to control that moment. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that to, but it's destiny.
What did Drizzy say about it?
I mean, he was sad too.
I mean, he's had leaks before, so he'll be all right.
Yeah, he kind of nudged me like, hey, don't trip. That's what was meant to happen. I think his experience, he let me know like, you think this is gonna affect your life? Like, it's fine.
And you probably thought you got a lot of attention until you was hanging around Drake, and you was like, "Oh, there's a whole other level out here. This is crazy."
Yeah, I felt an energy shift after that for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
He's of that level, right? Where when he walks, you can
Where
sense
you do it when you do an interview, they're gonna bring it up. Yeah.
Cannot.
Of course.
I almost let this interview
By the
close
way,
without bringing it up. I started to.
Almost.
And I was like, let's get the clicks.